Hi everybody, it's Justin from Man Bassing. In this video, I'm going to unbox and review the Lews Laser Speed Spin LSG 200. If you're new to the channel, I do product reviews, fishing adventures, and how-to videos that all revolve around bass fishing in the Northeast. I'd love to have you as a sub, so hit that subscribe button. The Laser Speed Spin LSG 200 is an affordable reel within Lews line of spinning reels. And when I think of Lews, I think of dependability, reliability, proper functioning, and a product that delivers results all at affordable prices. And if you'd like to have this reel right now, there'll be Amazon links in the description box. You can click those links, it'll bring you to Amazon and you can take it from there. Let's get into the unboxing. If your classic Lews black box with white print, on your sides, you're going to have your specs. In the box, you get a plastic bag, which I always think is a riot. You get your manual, a warranty, and your reel. Here it is. Smooth and quiet, right out of the box. First and foremost, I just think we have to talk about are the aesthetics. It's just a gorgeous reel. It's a real pretty reel. Ahead of its time. It's an older model, but I think just aesthetically it's ahead of its time. It's just real pretty. I mean, looks aren't that important to me in a reel. It's more about how it functions and does it produce results. And with Lews, that's usually what you're going to get. But this reel is just absolutely gorgeous. Your handle is aluminum. It's screw-in. There's a shaft that runs through that. Like the shaft's connected to the handle and it runs through the gears. You can tighten it. It is reversible, so you can put it on either side. It's also skeletal, which I think is pretty neat. Right there. Has your Lews performance grip on the handle, which is it's like a rubber material. It's really comfortable. Your fingers don't slip on it at all. Your gear ratio is 5.2 to 1. And in my opinion, that's on the slow side. Reels are becoming more readily available in 6.2 to 1 gear ratio, so they're going to be a little faster. And I think that makes this reel application specific because I think it would be great for drop shotting. When it comes to horizontal presentations, I personally prefer a 6.2 to 1 just because it's so much faster. And the other reason I feel that this is application specific is because of the spool size. It's a shallow spool, and at 6-pound mono, it holds 165 yards. At 8-pound, it holds 120, and at 10 pounds, it holds 100 yards. So what that tells me is that I'm going to have to spool this up with braid, 20-pound braid, and then run leaders off it for drop shotting. If you were to use lighter line, like 4 or 5 pound, you're going to get more yards, probably closer to the 200 range. So maybe if you're trout fishing or fishing for panfish, you can get away with it. But I think for bass fishing, I think this reel is optimal for drop shotting. Like if I were to, I couldn't put a crankbait on this or even rig a wacky worm on fluorocarbon because I'd be, I have to retie it several times a day, and probably halfway through the day, I'd be halfway through my spool. So it's just, I think it's best for braid and tying leaders on it. The spool is double anodized aluminum. It's knurled. It's that rough design right there. What that means is it's ready to spool up with braid, mono, or fluoro. It's an 8 bearing system, and so there's 7 bearings in the gearbox, and then it's got 1 bearing for an anti-reverse, 1-way clutch. And what that means is that once you stop going forward, that rotor won't slip back. It also has a roller bearing on the bail, which they do not market, but it is there, and that's going to help reduce friction and stress on your line when you're retrieving. Your rotor is graphite. It's also skeletal, and it's spool skeletal too, which I just think it's a really great design. It looks really great, but the rotor is skeletal, and I think that's going to help reduce the weight of the graphite, and it comes in at 8.3 ounces. So you have a rugged material for your rotor, and it's skeletal to reduce some of that weight. Another great feature is the location of the anti-reverse, which is right there. And for those of you who don't know, when you open up the anti-reverse, that means you can put the spool in reverse and go backwards, and it allows to back reel, and that's how I prefer to fish when it comes to fighting the fish. So I will typically, I'll have the anti-reverse on, I'll cast out, set my hook, and as soon as that hook's set, I'll open up the anti-reverse, and now I can go backwards and fight the fish that way instead of relying on the drag. I think it's a better system for fighting fish, and I really recommend anglers to use back reel. But the location is just spot on because you never have to take your hand off the handle. It's a great location, and it really drew me to Lews spinning reels. So let's talk about some of the cons, or I don't know. They're not necessarily cons, but I guess we'll start with the bail. The bail is interesting because it's kind of ahead of its time. It's a thicker bail. It's a lower profile bail, meaning it's real close to that drag. Now, one of the drawbacks of that is my thumb constantly hits that drag when I'm opening it up, right? So for the casual angler, it's not a big deal, but if you're an avid angler and you're taking 200 to 300 casts a day, it's going to take some muscle memory to remember where not to place your thumb so it doesn't brush up against the drag. Not a big deal breaker, but it is something that I think could be improved. The other issue I have with the bail is that it's marketed as a balanced bail, but there's a little bit of pressure to initiate the bail, and then even more pressure to open it completely. And when you close it, there's a bit of force coming down on that bail, and it sort of shakes the whole reel, and it's going to vibrate up the rod. It's not a deal breaker, but it's just something I think that Lews can improve on easily. The only other issue I have is the drag. But the more I played around with it, I realized that it's not a huge deal. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but it's not like, see how my fingers just slipped off that drag right there? It's kind of wonky where your fingers don't really glue to the drag, right? But what I noticed was, so it's 11-pound max drag, which is really all you need for bass. And I had it completely closed shut, like completely. But I realized that you don't need that much pressure on the drag. You can open it up a bit, and there's a certain threshold. Like right there's really all you need for bass. You don't need it clamped down much more than that. And from there, if you were to open it up, it's not a big deal. 2 twists, it's going to open that up, pretty much all you need for the drag. And then you can close it with 2 more twists, right? And it's going to close it down. So your fingers slip off it a little bit, but I don't think it's a I don't think it's a huge deal. And also, like, despite those cons, Lews is just, I'm usually very impressed with Lews with the products that I do have from them. So I wouldn't shy away from this reel because of that. Lews is usually going to deliver, a great product that performs really well. And I'm really excited to have this reel. I really can't wait to start drop shotting with it next season. And I can't wait to start making some videos for you to see it in action. But that pretty much concludes the review. Again, if you're new to the channel, I do product reviews, fishing adventures, and how-to videos. I'd love to have you as a sub, so click that subscribe button. And if you'd like to own this right now, and you're looking forward to doing some drop shotting, you can own it right now. There'll be Amazon links in the description box. You click those links and you can take it from there. But thank you. I hope you appreciate it. I hope it gives you a good perspective, and I hope you catch a real big bass soon. Thanks. Bye.